It is 5 minutes past 10 p.m. A very warm welcome once again to UBC News Tonight. Thank you so much for watching. We're coming to you live from the Nile Avenue, and my name is Sharon Chomdisha. In our top stories of the day, the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has issued a statement on Uganda's operations against terrorists in the DRC. It reads, "Fellow Ugandans and especially the Bazukulu, greetings. We're intensifying the hunt for the pigs in Congo. In the last week, we carried out 7 attacks with our artillery, air artillery, I beg your pardon, and 1 attack by medium-range artillery. The attacks were devastating for the terrorists. In desperation, they have been sending small groups of infiltrators like the group of Njovu that killed the tourists. Njovu was injured and arrested, and 3 of his groups were killed. About 7 of his groups, 7 members escaped, and the security forces are hunting them in the Chibali National Park area. Now the group is led by Kamusu, a Congolese, and their other leader in Congo is Abuakasi, an Arab from Tanzania. His camp is one of those that were attacked by our forces. The other infiltrators, in collusion with some individuals within the country, tried to plant bombs in Chikubamutwe Kabalagala area and Naweru Second 2 cell, I beg your pardon. However, due to the vigilance of the Wananchi and the security forces, the 2 bombs were off without harming anybody. They have planted one of the bombs near a pork joint. Bazukulu, what is a joint? I take it to mean a selling point or a center. In Onyankore, we would say akarabo kempunu. Echirabo means an eating house, empunu are pigs. It could also mean a bar. The 6 air attacks were at kilometers 64 and 65 from the border. The one that was attacked by gunships was 3 kilometers from the border. Uprooting the Lumbugu from Congo is progressing well. I thank His Excellency Tshisekedi for allowing us to deal with the Lumbugu, which is also known as coach grass in English. People in churches, markets and mosques and bars, etc. be vigilant and look out for strangers. The hotels and markets should have their own security as we had planned before. Maintain the vigilance until we finish up routing the Lumbugu in Congo. The Army has provided details on the 2 separate improvised explosive devices that exploded in Chikubamutwe Parish in Kabalagala, Machinje Division, and another in Naweru, Nansana Municipality, Wakiso District. Defense Deputy Spokesperson Kano Deo Akiki said that the 2 IEDs were mechanical timer bombs. Take a look as Onyango reports.
Security says 2 improvised explosive devices exploded in Chikubamutwe Parish, Kabalagala, and another one in Naweru, Kibwa, Nansana Municipality.
Ekiro ekikesezo olwaleero zibadde essaawa nga 4 bomu enjingirire oba locally made bomb inayise IED, improvised explosive devices, explodinze mu bitundu ebya Kabalagala. Ng'otuuse Kabalagala awalako akatundu bakayita Chikubamutwe, awo bagitezeewo bomu eyo netulika naye ekyomukisa omulungi kituza abantu obulabe. Twaliko omuntu afudde, abantu bafe twafunye obulabe, twafunye obuvune.
The IED that exploded in Naweru was allegedly brought by 2 young men yesterday night after hiring that house for 3 months and left the bag in the room where the explosion took place.
Essaawa ezikomo yayatikidde byonna yabadde mu nnyumba ye, kati ng'awana tewabeera abaana bangi, abantu babeera nnyo, actually wano wabeera nga tewali nnyo bantu. Kakati essaawa ezikomo yayatikidde oyabwatuse tewabadde bantu, byonna yabadde mu nnyumba.
Nabadde mu nnyumba nga ntudde n'empulira ekibwatuka. Ekyabadde bw'okyabwatuse n'enfuluma ndabe kyekiriwo nga manyi toba kiri ku masannyalaze. Naye mba ngende wa neighbor anzirako, nalabye nga naye ali bweru, tunoonya kivudde ku ki. Nagenze okulaba nga waliwo ekizimbe ekyo kye mulaba emabega nga mwabaddemu eriyabadde bbomu.
The IED that exploded in Kabalagala was left at the veranda of a house in a busy street. Police and other security agencies responded and deployed at the 2 scenes.
Yali yasenguka kakati bano babadde bapya babadde kupangisa wantu awo ne babadde basajja babadde n'ensawo just backpack nga bakutte terabadde na bintu byonna
Masiku omundi okusooka okubeera nga kino kintu kihappeninga mu division yaffe y'Enansana. Mabegako awo waliwo ebyategesebwa nga bomu saidi Naluma naye waliwo okumu n'ebeera saidi awo ng'odde Katooke. So kigenda tuteeka mu bukeeke n'abantu okutandika okulowooza nti Nansana erimu abamenyi b'amateeka abangi.
According to the 1st Division Army spokesperson, Major Charles Kabona, there was no death occurred in the two separate bomb blasts.
Tulinamu abantu abakyama abatujju abava ADF aba Congo kubanga Congo omuliro gubadde gw'amaanyi mu guyitiridde. There is a lot of pressure and a lot of repeated fire ADF in Congo. Kati bagezaako kudukayo kujja mu Uganda kutuusaako obulabe ku bantu baffe. Naye naffe tubalinya kagere kubanga abangi bafudde abangi bakwatiddwa recently nga komanda Njovu mwamulabako no mu mawulire mu kooti. Kati operation n'ebikokoto byaffe bya UPDF mu Congo bigenda bulungi nnyo. Tudestroyinze command control structure yaabwe, commanders bafa, abatujju baabwe ne bafa, logistic supply tudestroyinga, kati batandise kuddukayo kuyingira mu ggwanga. Naye naffe tubalinya kagere naye nga tukola bino byonna tugamba Bannayuganda abantu babulijjo oba bakulembeze babulijjo.
The Mayor Nabweru blames landlords of rental houses for not verifying new occupants.
Naye okusinziira ku vision akuule bannayibba nga badde boogera bagamba n'abantu babadde bapya baali bakapangisa ennyumba eno nga era ogenda okubuuza nti abantu abasinga tebabamanyi actually abamu babalabyeko obulala naye.
The Nabweru LC1 chairperson says the area has been entirely peaceful, though he faults the LC system that no longer verifies people staying in their areas of jurisdiction.
Kati nga landlord olukwata emyezi gye 3 n'ateeka mu nsawo ebyo nga bikoze eki nga biwedde tasobola kukwata muntu muleeta kumwanjula ku LC ng'edda we kyakolebwanga.
Security says all the two incidents are under investigation. They, however, cautioned the public to remain vigilant, especially in this festive season, and report any suspicious activities in their communities.
Twagala abantu mbeere mulindaala mulabe bantu ki ababayingiddemu kubanga ffe twabagamba dda tuze nga tukuba omulanga tugamba abatujju ba ADF bali mu ggwanga tubanoonya te batonotono. Naffe twagala mutuwe information kubanga you are our ears, you are our eyes on the ground. Nga mugenda mu bivulu byanaku nkulu mugenda mu bivulu obanga ogezaako okukola gathering yonna ey'abantu bangi tubanga tubasaba gathering eyo gezaako olabe ng'olina security yotaddeko.
Robert Onyango, UBC News.
The UPDF has put 20 million Ugandan shillings bounty on the heads of 2 wanted ADF terrorists involved in planting IEDs in Kampala. The UPDF appeals to the public to be on the lookout for the suspects and report to the nearest security agency. Moving on from that, the Vice President, Major Retired Jessica Alupo, has commended the church for promoting unity, morals and development among Ugandans. She says through the Interreligious Council, faith-based institutions have showed Ugandans that unity is strength and have supported all government developments. Alupo was speaking during a fundraising ceremony for the construction of Kaberebere Archdiaconry House at All Saints Church in Isinjiro district, where she handed over 30 million Ugandan shillings from President Museveni towards the construction process of the house.
The fundraising drive for the construction of Kaberebere Archdiaconry House took place at All Saints Church in Isinjiro district yesterday, where Vice President Major Retired Jessica Alupo was warmly received by Bishop Dr. Sheldon Mwesigwa of Ankole Diocese. On her arrival, Vice President Alupo, who was led on a guided tour of the church premises, said that because President Yoweri Museveni has always emphasized that we should not discriminate anyone on the account of gender, religion, age, tribe, or even color, now everybody in Uganda is united regardless of whether one is from the Church of Uganda, Muslim or Catholic faith, or even pagan. She was happy that the church is a uniting factor and growth of society, saying this resonates well with the message of President Museveni, which is also enshrined in the principles of NRM that include nationalism, socio-economic development, democracy, and Pan-Africanism.
The President is going to start his mobilization of household income next year in February.
When President Wimangé naza kutandika kubura enjiri yona eya household income of enjiri eyokureba ngoma kagiti bona gajira akaseto mushone ntumbuka.
You will come to Ankole. You will come to Ankole, you will go to Kigezi, you will go to Toro, you will go to Bunyoro. He has finished Acholi, he has finished West Nile, he has finished Greater Masaka. All Uganda he is going to move beginning February next year.
During the fundraising that attracted ministers, members of parliament, and dignitaries from within and without, Vice President handed over 30 million shillings from President Yoweri Museveni towards the construction process of the Kaberebere Archdiaconal House. The Vice President and the husband, Peter Abaine, also handed over a contribution of 15 million shillings. State Minister for Animal Industry, Dr. Bright Kanyantore Rwamirama, who also doubles as the Member of Parliament for Isinjiro County North, thanked the Vice President for honoring his invitation and emphasized that once the earlier mentioned road is finished, it would boost business relations. The Bishop of Ankole Diocese, Dr. Sheldon Mwesigwa, who led the church service at the function, preached love and unity. He called upon Christians to love each other and urged the faithful to live in harmony. Etole Ed Archangel, UBC News.
Refugees go through post-traumatic stress disorders and anxiety, an issue that is never given attention by medical experts, as many continue to lose their lives in the process. Now, our reporter Shaidat Nasaku looks at effects of mental health in refugees. Let's have the report.
According to UNHCR, by the end of June 2023, Uganda was hosting 1,561,634 refugees and asylum seekers. New arrivals have continued to enter the country mainly from the Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan. Since the beginning of 2023, Uganda has received 34,436 refugees. Of these, 16,191 were from DR Congo and 18,245 from South Sudan. These refugees leave their communities to save their lives. They run away from danger caused by political instabilities that often culminate into civil wars. As a result of war, many end up in foreign countries where they are hosted and treated as refugees or asylum seekers. In the process, they miss their homes, lack basic necessities of life, and end up suffering from mental health due to stress. Supported by Media Challenge Initiative and Conrad Adenua Stiftung Uganda, I sit down with Nasra Hassan, a Congolese national who went through a mental health post-traumatic stress disorder, to narrate her ordeal. Nasra Hassan is 29 years old and lost her biological parents at a young age.
When my mom died, I didn't feel anything. I was shut, my mind was shut, and I have lived that for so many years.
She was only 3 years of age when she was adopted by foster parents. At the age of 18, Nasra lost her foster parents to M23 war that broke out in 2013. She had just completed her senior 6. With her two siblings, they flew to Uganda, where they live as refugees. Nasra spent more than 5 years trying to make ends meet, but sometimes loses hope in the process.
The mind is shut and you just want to live that. You don't want to feel, you don't want to cry, you don't want to face whatever emotion that it comes with. And it is a very danger position one can put themselves in.
She says suffering from depression in a foreign country is the worst thing anyone should never experience because it hardly heals.
Certain wounds that can never heal. They leave scars which you will learn to live with forever. Let's say like someone who loses their loved ones. Let's say like a person like me who lost parents. This is something that can never even be replaced.
According to Nasra, counseling given often doesn't help because life turns meaningless.
Some people will decide just to look for the negative coping mechanism, which is abusing drugs. Some will go into sex.
With the post-traumatic stress that Nasra went through, she has remained focused and her dreams and aspirations have come true.
Nothing can stop you from achieving your dreams apart from your mindset. I got a scholarship.
Leila Hassan Wakabi is a counseling psychologist and mental health coordinator from African Center for Treatment and Rehabilitation for Torture Victims, says many people get different experiences when they suffer from mental health breakdowns and react differently.
A lot of psychological challenges that come with loss of your home, loss of your belonging. Someone may go into depression and start having suicidal thoughts. They feel they are fed up, they are not fit to live, they are worthless. So that is where it's really on the extreme.
Wakabi says refugees are taken through 10 sessions to heal from breakdown.
Usually run for about 2.5 months because we usually have a session every week. For groups, it's about 3-hour sessions, and for individuals, the process is long. It takes time. Mental health challenges take time to heal.
Society is one cause of obstruction during the healing process, but awareness is created and refugees are treated equally as nationals, and this always contributes to their mental well-being.
It's really important for us to appreciate that people have mental health challenges, and what we can do best is not to discriminate, is to support them go through this process, the healing process, to see how
inadequate human resource in addressing mental health cases remains a major challenge that has led to increasing cases of suicide involving refugees who wait for long hours to fix appointments with counselors.
Times resources, funding limits these things. So I know they would also be very willing to do so, but maybe sometimes their hands are tied as well and they cannot cry out to government to really increase the recognition of the importance of mental health to individuals, not only refugees but as well as nationals, so that all these centers, or they also give a hand to the refugee organizations to support in boosting the services that need to be given to the refugees.
You get overwhelmed, and sadly we lose quite a number of lives, and which I also still think that we could save more lives if we had the personnel that is needed. And this is not just for TPO Uganda, for Uganda as a country. The personnel that is needed for treating, managing and responding to mental health needs of Ugandans, not only refugees, are very limited. We have very few psychiatrists, we have few clinical psychologists, worstly by the way, that are not even recognized within the government.
Grace Obalim, a clinical psychologist with Transcultural Psychosocial Organization, reiterates that Uganda Mental Health Act of 2019 and its benefits to the refugee society.
The Refugees Response Plan. This is spearheaded by Office of the Prime Minister and UNHCR. This response plan sets forth the priorities that is needed for refugees, the structures that is needed to be able to provide services for them, and areas that needs to be addressed.
Mental health is like any other ailment, but if not paid attention to, it can be disastrous. However, good news is professionals in mental health exist. It only takes you and I to dedicate ourselves. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Shaidat Nasaku, for that wonderful report on mental health. Moving on from that, the Deputy Chief Justice Richard Butera and Director of Public Prosecution Jen Francis Abodo have asked all prosecutors to pay attention to environmental crimes if Uganda is to realize its sustainable development it yearns to attain. They say available laws should be put in the effect if people involved in activities that destroy the ecosystem will be deterred. Take a look as Karunji Ashraf reports.
It's my honor to welcome you all to Masindi District, where prosecutors under the association, the Uganda Association of Prosecutors, will be conducting. I don't think there is a difficulty if we follow the case. But we shall take it up. If you can give me the specific references of these cases. But for the Court of Appeal, we put it as a priority that for any case that breaks proceedings of a lower court, if this comes to our attention, the matter will be fixed as a priority. I'll take it up with the DPP, I'll take it up with the Honorable, the Principal Judge, that this also is given priority at the level of the government. There is no reason why one court should stay.
By meeting present needs without compromising the chances of future generations to meet their needs, living within our environmental limits is one of the central principles of sustainable development. The question then is, what is our role as prosecutors in promoting this? To answer this question, I want to first remember that small actions taken collectively, like we are doing, can add up to real change. It can and it will. As prosecutors, we have to join forces to collectively support sustainable development and environmental conservation in order to see real change in our environment. Given the social relevance and vital importance of environmental issues,
The Ministry of Tertiary Affairs has received praise from clergymen and local leaders for its fair and effective allocation of resources in the region. They say that the ministry has used the funds it receives in energy in every financial year, to improve the standards of people in the region through education and the healthcare system.
According to the Ministry of Tertiary Affairs, it receives a budget of 4 billion shillings in every financial year for execution of affirmative projects in Teso sub-region. This financial year, the funds have enabled Kaberamaido and Kalaki district to renovate the dilapidated learning institutions.
The former place the sub-county had given us was not very conducive for learning. But here now, as you can see, the structures are very beautiful, and the students are very happy.
At least now we can smile because we have got the 2 classroom block. We thank the government of Uganda very much.
The ministry has also improved referral health services in the districts of Amuria, Katakwi, Kalaki and Bukedia.
With the new ambulance, it will be easier for us to get these patients. Also, the mechanical costs are going to reduce. And we really think that is going to improve our service delivery.
Normally, health center force become health center force before they receive an ambulance, but we are really privileged to have this. And I want to thank our leaders, led by the area MPs, for lobbying for us.
Additionally, Soroti City was supported with 2 classroom blocks and 200 iron sheets to re-roof a leaking primary school.
Now that we have received additional 4 classrooms, I believe on behalf of the management committee, PTA, and the Aloete community, that this will go a long way to solve the problem of overcrowding in the classrooms.
The issue I've been doing is that when we see rains coming, we have been transferring these children to go and shelter in a neighboring classroom, and that is in P4, until the rain is over. Then they go back to their class, they clean it, then the lessons again resume.
The ministry, which is under the leadership of Dr. Kenneth Ongalo Obote, is determined to uplift the standards of education in Teso sub-region.
Our ministry is going to continue buying more iron sheets. But what we require, we don't have enough money to build teachers' houses. But if you can build the wall, you write to me, I will look for iron sheets.
Clergymen and local leaders in Teso sub-region applauded the ministry.
I remember in some city you promised our dear guest that you will personally deliver. And thank you very much, sir, for fulfilling that. Thank you, and may the Lord bless you.
For the time you have been in Teso Affairs, you have exhibited a very high class of leadership. And under your stewardship, there is an even distribution of resources and projects across Teso.
Joseph Oko, UBC.
Public and private health institutions have been advised not to fund tuition arrears and deter students from sitting examinations, since this will affect the students' future and the country. Commissioner of Health Education and Training Dr. Safina Mseni communicated this during the stakeholders briefing of examination coordinators and monitors on behalf of the Uganda Nurses and Midwives Examination Board. Nantongo has a detailed report on this story.
The Uganda Nurses and Midwives Examinations Board, UNMIB, is set to hold its 36th series of examinations come 4th December 2023, where over 50,000 candidates are expected to sit for these exams. Among these are certificate and diploma holders, as the Executive Secretary UNMIB, Helen Mukasasura, highlights.
These examinations will be held from 4th to 15th December 2023. In 121 schools. The total candidates expected to sit the examinations are 54,755.
Following this, coordinators and monitors of these examinations have been briefed by the UNMIB on the required guidelines to follow during the examination period.
Storage of the examinations, the board has introduced a black bag for practical examinations. This has been done to separate theory examinations, which will be in the grey bags.
For examination centers outside Kampala, the center coordinator, center supervisor, and at least one invigilator will be responsible for collecting each day's examination papers from the police stations.
John Kennedy Makeda, the chairperson board of UNMIB, urged the stakeholders to exercise professionalism while executing the duties entrusted to them.
Our values include professionalism, integrity, confidentiality, client-centeredness. As UNMIB representatives, we must be observed these values so that UNMIB continue to excel within in the country and in the region.
The Commissioner of Health Education and Training, Dr. Safina Mseni, officiated the briefing and commended the coordinators for their dedication towards the health sector. She, however, appealed to the health institutions to give more time to students to clear their dues, but not to deter them from doing their examinations.
You managed the teaching very well, both in the classroom and in the clinical areas, and you have prepared our students for examinations. Don't stop a government-sponsored student that has not cleared fees. Because as a government student, we can close one eye and we allow the student to do the exams, and we demand for the balance after the exams.
She further urged private institutions to avoid operating illegally, since this will affect the quality of health workers produced to the country.
But you are placed for, you are working in a school and the license has expired. Are you placed for? You are in an illegal school. Going forward, we will not give you any service until you have presented an up-to-date license.
The Ugandan nurses and midwifery examinations for the December semester will be held for 2 weeks in 121 centers across the country. Rebecca Nantongo, UBC News.
Moving on, a consultant surgeon at Mulago National Referral Hospital, Dr. Kaweru Wilberforce, wants government to have a training policy for postgraduate students to enable them create employment. He was speaking at the 5th anniversary of Network for Education and Multidisciplinary Research Africa in Kampala, as Namukose reports.
The Network for Education and Multidisciplinary Research Africa body was set up to assist students advancing at master's and PhD levels to complete their education journeys through research.
Many of the researchers out there, they do have fragmented efforts, and there is no family that brings together these different people in the research world. So NIMRA came into existence to be able to provide this platform where different academicians in the field of research are able to sit together and be able to carry out and even brainstorm on issues that can help solve societal problems, especially in areas of research.
In the 5 years of existence, the network has supported over 200 students at master's and PhD levels within Uganda and the rest of the world for them to realize their education dreams.
Able to meet people who are going through what you're going through, hear what they are going through, learn from them. The fact that they are able to come and share with us your work, it's an opportunity for you to, first of all, to rehearse, number one, and as you rehearse, you get more confident.
Yeah, at NEMRA, you are taught everything about research, from research initiation, research development, and then research writing, and all of you. The knowledge itself is enough.
So if government introduces a training policy for graduate students, it will break the unemployment burden.
So I think the government should have the training policy and reap those people who are doing masters, PhDs, and after that, most of the PhD people actually can employ themselves. Because most of their projects they run, they are not running 1 or 2, 3 projects. They are running many, they are employing so many people, and they are using the government infrastructure. Actually, if you don't employ them, these are people who are hired by other people in your country. The good thing is that whenever they are hired, they get some revenue to the country, but they give a lot of money and they give jobs. So these are the people you would actually put on your first front, give them, employ them, and then they can employ the rest. And actually you end up having lower employment levels.
On the other hand, the future prospects of the network include holding a mega capacity building conference, which will attract more members.
A team of Canadian professors who have offered to come and provide a training of trainers. So we'll have a module which will be able to help any other PhD students, and we'll have these students here equipped with knowledge so that from them they are able also to train other students out there. So next year we are going to have a train of trainers mainly in areas of capacity needs for PhD students. If you want to write a grant, what do you need to do? If you need to progress, let's say, in your proposal, what are the key things you need to do?
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
As holiday season kicks in, the Minister of Culture, Tourism in Buganda Kingdom, Dr. Wamala Anthony, has urged parents to prioritize teaching their children the native languages, emphasizing the importance of safeguarding Uganda culture heritage. Dr. Wamala speaking to parents attending a holiday break-off function organized by Vashon Primary School in Buate. Take a look.
Speaking at the break-off holiday function organized by Vision Primary School in Buate, the Minister of Culture and Tourism, Dr. Wamala Anthony, emphasized the significance of preserving mother tongues, urging parents to instill this cultural legacy in their children.
The most important aspect when we are talking about culture here is language. We are very aware that many parents these days are not mindful of the language their children are using. They are not mindful of how their children are behaving. I would encourage the children to always, the parents to always ensure that their children speak their native language. If the child learns the native language, it will always be easy for that child to grasp the foreign language. So I always encourage them, and I encourage them to ensure that they emphasize native language, especially at home. It's good for these children to learn English or any other foreign language, but foremost, let them grasp their native languages.
Dr. Wamala also called upon parents to keep their children engaged in constructive activities that enhance their life skills.
As these children go for holidays, I want to urge the parents to ensure that they engage and make sure that the children are occupied. They should not let the children wait around aimlessly all over villages. Parents who can go with their children at work, let them go with them. Those who cannot go with them at work, they can improvise, they can make them busy, not only in academics but also in some home chores which can engage and make these children profitable.
Meanwhile, the director, Version Primary School, Henry Tumwebaze, urged fellow directors of schools not to take their children outside their schools they oversee, for this undermines parental confidence in their respective institutions.
Normal appeal to proprietors and the founders of different schools. If you are confident that you are offering quality and standard education to children of the friends, relatives, and the general public, what you need to do, you first bring in your own children to ensure that others see that you are consuming from the same source. Then they can also believe in the service that you are offering, that it is standard.
Nahoho Rashid Matselele, reporting for UBC TV.
Private schools have been tasked to prioritize quality education among the learners through establishment of sufficient education infrastructures that attract competitive and favorable learning environment. Francis Atimi, the director in charge of quality at the Ministry of Education, says government has set ambitious goals of strengthening inspection system with focus on quality infrastructure, leadership and management.
The director in charge of quality at the Ministry of Education, Frances Atima, has called on private schools to follow government policy set by the Directorate of Education Standards. She was inaugurating the Bals Nursery and Primary School in Busia District.
So I would like to thank the proprietor or the director of this school for thinking of bringing such a wonderful school and education also to this part of the country. We've always said as Minister of Education that education is a shared responsibility, and we welcome anybody who invests in education, but not just investing in education, but investing in quality education.
Busia District Education Officer Mwesigwa Harriet says the focus should be on developing basic requirements for early child development.
Mwesigwa Harriet is my name, the DE of Busia District. I want to take this opportunity to thank the director, Mr. Egesa, for the wonderful facility he put up and for the quality education he's giving to Busia. He has set a record, and for us as education department, we feel he is adding value. I've been in this school several times and I've seen what is going on. It is our mission and the sustainable development goal aim at for quality education.
The Bals School management is committed to change the face of rural schools in Busia District learning progress by ensuring that learners achieve their full potentials.
We might not go purely academic, but other co-curriculum activities are there. We have music and dance, that is drama, we have sports, we are in religion, everything. We are very equipped and well equipped. The only thing we could request is the parents, the community around and all over Uganda to trust us, give us their kids, and we give them the quality they deserve better.
Eastern Uganda has never had a chance to experience what is provided in the Central. We have the resources to invest in the Central, but we chose to put it in Eastern just to change the image of what Eastern has always had in education. That is our main dream. children are given qualitative activities such as debate, quizzes, and math contests that build the confidence of the child.
I call upon parents that if you don't have your child at heart, then who will take care of your kid? Let us support these children. A hungry teacher is teaching a hungry child, definitely the results will be hungry. And these hungry results will not be pleasant to the parents. At the end of it all, they will blame the what? The teachers. But teachers are doing their work. Let us encourage our parents also to do their roles.
The school integrates life skills development to ensure that learners are equipped with skills to choose their future.
Commissioner from the Ministry of Education and Primary Education, Elizabeth Mutumba, has urged parents to pay attention and supervise their children. She was opening a ceremony at the Big Reach School in Wakiso District.
The students performed with bands and entertained the parents. Commissioner Elizabeth Mutumba from Ministry of Education and Primary Education urged parents to take care of their children.
Omwana aba mwesigwa obutakola kintu kino, omwana omuwa obudde bw'alina okutambulizaamu emirimu gye, omwana omutendeka nga muti wa Katonda. Bannange neyanziza nalabye abaana wano nga bakuba oluyisiraamu, nange ne ngamba nti ye.
Father Chibi thanked the founders of the school for adding value to the country and setting the foundation, and urged all people in the country to do things that people will remember and useful.
They are out of school illegally. There are those who make things happen. There are those who watch things happen. And there are those who don't know what happened. Nawali, Akera, Natamanchitako, Unakulogenda, Werutio. Ebwanga Uganda, President Museveni Mwayogera, but even fools can manage to live in this country. You can't survive there. You have to work.
The founders of the school, Hajat Namudu Nusula and Haj Yamada Sevanachita, said there is a need to nurture talent among learners.
Kubanga empisa ye foundation y'obulamu. Ekyokubiri kupromotinga talent nga music, basketball, tulunda, tulima, tusomesa okukola likidiso n'ebirala bingi.
Wano ng'amanyi okufumba, amanyi okuwaata, omwana ebyemizannyo bingi ebyokulunda, kugamba ekindeke ki. We are giving a rich curriculum as provided by the National Curriculum Development Center. We also look at talent development. We look at vocational skills.
They later officially opened the school. Crispus Arinitwe, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
All teachers have been urged to embrace the government policy to upgrade at least to a bachelor's level by 2030 if they are to continue with the teaching profession. The Deputy Commissioner in charge of private institutions, George Mutekanga, says that the policy improving the quality of education in the country.
By the power entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon all of you.
It's only 6 years remaining for at least all teachers in the country to have upgraded from certificate or diploma level to bachelor's level to enable them to continue teaching. This policy passed by government will be compulsory by 2030. At a graduation ceremony at Luigi Guisani Institute of Higher Education in Luzira, Kampala, the Deputy Commissioner in charge of private institutions in Ministry of Education and Sports, George Mutekanga, urged the teachers to embrace the policy.
So as the Ministry of Education and Sports, first of all, we want to thank these institutions that give us support. They support our cause and they come to patch up where we are lacking. Number two, we want to encourage as a teacher policy where we say that every teacher should be a graduate. This is the process of starting. So we want to encourage all teachers who know that they are grade 3 teachers and have not yet acquired diplomas and yet are yet to acquire degrees to come to such institutions. These are tailored courses. You can even study in holidays. You can even study in, now like now we are going to have a long holiday, the whole of December and August, December and January. You can be here and you do a course.
The chief guest, Professor Betty Ezati, tasked the graduates to put the skills acquired into transforming the society.
It's a day to celebrate. It's also a day to reflect where you started from. You know, we shouldn't forget where we started from. It's a day to reflect on how you started, where you started from, how you've progressed, and how you're going to progress going forward. You should be asking yourself, yes, I'm graduating today. What will I be tomorrow? What will I be doing 1 year from now? What will I be doing 5 years from now?
Today has been our 4th graduation ceremony. We are excited. We had 58 students that graduated today. These are students that were products of COVID. They enrolled in the program during the COVID period, so it was challenging for them to go through the program. But we are very happy today that they all graduated, they all finished, and they are...
Over 50 students graduated with diplomas and certificates in different disciplines. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kampala.
Students praised and appreciated the visual teaching where students physically have items to help them in class as the only way to keep them from forgetting what they're learning or going home to even when they're in exams. The founder of Kalaji Junior School, Jemba Evans, says that this will help Ugandan students to compete in the international market as far as they continue with this program.
About garden tools.
Ministry of Education has curriculum teach students what they understand. At Kalaji Junior School, students demonstrate what they have learned.
These ruminant animals have mainly 4 stomach parts. These stomach parts are scientifically called chambers or compartments. The first chamber is the rumen. It's this one. The rumen looks like a pouch, and the rumen is the first stomach. For easy identification, that's why I've said it looks like a pouch. The rumen stores food for a short period and sends it back to the mouth for further chewing.
The students observed that the teaching helped them to remember these things.
Learning that we practice here on Kalaji Junior, it enables us to have practical skills. For example, these practical skills enable us to know something easily, to understand, and it enables also to remember what you saw and write it on the book.
Director of the school, Jemba Evans, says this sets up competitiveness among learners.
A person from Ghana can compete at global level. Should be the same way a Ugandan person should compete at that kind of level. And that is why when we are structuring the way we want to administer our education, we give priority to the aspect of practical teaching. Our children to be able to communicate, to be able to innovate, and that is why we try to see that whatever they learn, they can be able to discover.
Jemba said they grow most of the things they use.
And special is to see children learning with ease, without putting in a lot of effort.
There were also students showcasing their talents, including a top student who amazed parents.
We are now older and wiser. We have made friends. We are better now and far from where we started. Just as
you see us looking so wonderful today.
Crispus Ainitwe, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
Jovia ng'oyolekera ku lugendo luno olw'obulamu nkuwa ekirabo eky'amaanyi agatazizibwa, amaanyi okulabibwa n'okuwulirwa mu mawanga ageewala ennyo, okutuuka buli wamu nga yadde togenzeeyo, ensi yonna ng'ekuli mu ngalo. Okutambula mu biseera n'okumanya buli kimu ekirina okumanyibwa. Jovia, kino kye kirabo kyange gy'oli.
Tewali kumuko kye ky'osobola okukola ku mukutu nnandameggwa ogwa MTN.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. Parents have been advised to embrace the government skilling project and emphasize it to their children starting at an early age. Jimmy has a detailed report on this story.
Dream Africa, Dream Africa, my alma mater.
Dream Africa School in Imbalwa has officially signed out their 2023 education program.
Yeah, after the reopening of schools, after the pandemic, we had to adopt the abridged curriculum. The abridged curriculum limited us in terms of co-curricular activities. We had to have time to cover the core subjects, and then after the core subjects, we now have gone into the regular curriculum. So the regular curriculum now allows us or gives us the opportunity to bring in the co-curricular activities, and this is what we are trying to do today.
The administrators say government skilling project and sciences can develop individuals.
The way our learners learn and they learn to problem solve, and that's the most important thing. You know, people should go away with the knowledge. They should not just forget what they have learned today. They should be able to apply the knowledge, and that's what we are working towards.
Empowerment will create a social impact through provision of quality education to all Ugandans. It runs a conglomerate of 15 schools in Jinja, Entebbe Road and Wachiso, with a background from India, where their main school of 8,000 learners have lived more than 70 years.
We are not here on a commercial basis. Of course, we charge fees for sustainability purposes, but otherwise our biggest vision is that all children should learn, and they should learn in truly world-class manner. And it is not necessarily driven by big buildings. It is not necessarily driven by charging a lot of fees. It is driven by how you prepare your teachers and how you focus in classrooms. And our focus is just there, and we believe that keeping the focus in classrooms, keeping the larger focus of making our children compete with the rest of the world has taken us this far, and we believe it is just the beginning, and we are going to go far.
Smallholder farmers in Uganda are yet to benefit from Kabi International Plant-Wise Plus program that aims at supporting farmers to produce more and higher quality food free from pests and diseases. Adia has a detailed report on the story.
Smallholder farmers face a lot of challenges, ranging from inadequate extension services, lack of effective solutions to control of pests and diseases. Yet, these farmers contribute a great deal to food security. It is against this background that Kabi International has reinforced its Plant-Wise Plus program to support smallholder farmers to produce safer and high-quality food. The Plant-Wise Plus program will support over 75 million smallholder farmers in 27 countries, including Uganda, in the period of 7 years.
Of the 6 focus countries, Uganda happens to be one of them. And here we are talking about pest preparedness, pest risk management, and farm advisory. And this is the component which has now been coined into the Plant-Wise Plus. And we are finishing the proof of concept this year and moving out the full phase next year, where Uganda is one of the 6 focus countries. We also have some other 21 core countries globally, which then come together to help sustain extension services. And here we are looking at not only helping the farmers produce more and lose less of what they produce, but also to produce safer food.
Working with the National Agriculture Research Organization, NARO, and the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Kabi's Plant-Wise Plus initiative will support farmers to detect and control crop pests, offer digital agriculture advisory services, and promote safer pest control methods.
Kabi helped us a lot to make sure that our information is simplified. You know, as researchers, we normally have a lot of science, but the Kabi team helped us to package this information so that it is easier for a farmer to take up, with a lot of images, and that helped us a lot. We developed materials for cassava, for coffee, for beans, for maize, for very many commodities, including aquaculture and all that. And this information then, we started moving around with it, teaching farmers, especially how to manage the fall armyworm in maize. That has been very, very impactful, and the farmers have been very happy.
The Plant-Wise Plus program will also put more emphasis on One Health approach, where farmers are supported in caring for both crops and animals.
It's a program that has brought extension services closer to the farmers to complement what the government extension service is already doing, and also to enrich it, whereby we are now doing e-extension, whereby we reach more farmers with the service as opposed to a traditional way of one extension officer possibly moving around going to visit farmers.
A model, the Plant-Wise model, which the government has taken up, and this is looking at the field diagnosis and plant clinic operations, but also looking at how do we give the farmers advice that they are able to understand and apply. And of course, safe use and handling of agrochemicals. We cannot run away from the agrochemicals now, but we need to work hard to handle them better.
The core aim here is supporting smallholder farmers to improve food production and safety, but also farmers' livelihoods. Justin Nakami, Adia Nakuti, UBC News.
And that's all we had for you this evening. Thank you so much for watching UBC News Tonight with me, Sharon Chomdisha, from the team, and I. Have a lovely night and a blessed week ahead of you. Bye-bye.